Today, I want to share a renowned book on how to effectively invest, allocate, and optimize our time to improve the quality of life and elevate our happiness. This is the book I've tentatively translated as Happy Golden Hours by Dr. Cassie Holmes. A nagging question arises: will having more time freedom truly make us happier? Is this entirely true? The reality is that in the modern whirlwind, too many people feel they never have enough time. Not enough to meet mounting deadlines, not enough for themselves, not enough to do what they love, unable to exercise, read, or rest as planned. And so, each day passes in frustration, exhaustion, and self-reproach. We constantly wish for more time and work hard to earn money, hoping that one day we'll be more at leisure. The author, American social psychologist Dr. Cassie Holmes, calls this feeling time poverty. However, the truth is that people's perception of time is always subjective. 5 minutes can feel like an eternity to someone waiting, but to someone about to part ways with a loved one at the airport, those 5 minutes might fly by in a blink. Therefore, time poverty isn't an objective lack of time, but a subjective state where an individual constantly feels they don't have enough time for what they want to do, even if they objectively have free time. The root cause stems from often feeling a loss of control when time is dominated by mandatory work or unwanted obligations. For example, office workers might spend 3 to 4 hours in training or meetings daily, about 20 hours per week, even if 40% of the content isn't directly related to their tasks. Or those caring for young children or the elderly might spend up to 8 hours daily on childcare, cleaning, and transportation, unable to pursue personal hobbies. Modern women might work 8 hours, but after work, they still have to cook, wash dishes, help children with homework, and so on, leaving no time for themselves. Another reason people always feel they don't have enough time is the diminished quality of their free time. Even when they have free time, their minds are scattered, perhaps worrying about their main job or getting too engrossed in trivial entertainment that consumes much of their free time. And finally, the deepest root cause is a lack of connection between time usage and personal values. For instance, some people spend up to 60% of their day on work they despise. If you find yourself in the situations described above, it means you are living in a state of time poverty. Someone stuck in this state for too long will fall into a spiral of energy depletion, declining health, and a higher likelihood of being overweight, suffering from high blood pressure, elevated blood sugar, high cholesterol, sleep disorders, and weakened immunity. Additionally, they may become self-conscious and powerless because the feeling of insufficient time magnifies risks, creating an illusion of failure that leads to procrastination and avoidance of challenges. Furthermore, relationships can easily fray due to a lack of quality time investment. Someone who doesn't have time for themselves certainly won't have time for others. They may become indifferent to both acquaintances and strangers. Most seriously, a sense of meaninglessness will always be present when they realize they are merely existing, not truly living. So, how can we escape this state of time poverty? Is it simply a matter of striving for as much free time as possible? As a university professor, the author herself was once extremely busy with her work. But after leaving work, like many other women, she still had to cook, clean, and care for her children. Day after day, she had no time to do what she truly wanted. This situation made her question her life, and she wished to leave her teaching job to live a relaxed, peaceful life on an island. However, as a researcher, she decided to use data to verify her choice, to re-examine whether having more free time truly leads to greater happiness. She and her colleagues conducted extensive research, establishing a database that recorded the daily activities and life satisfaction of tens of thousands of Americans. The results revealed that if a person had less than 2 hours of free time per day, their life satisfaction sharply decreased. But if they had too much free time, more than 5 hours a day, this also didn't guarantee happiness. People might feel life is boring, lose direction, and fall into unproductive activities like scrolling through social media, watching aimless videos, or playing games, making their free time feel meaningless. Therefore, the key isn't to strive for more time or more leisure to be truly happy, but rather to learn how to shape and reallocate the time we use daily. There's a saying, "As your day goes, so goes your life." If you are feeling time poor, it might be time to seriously reevaluate, learn to organize, and make choices more effectively for your own well-being. This book will help you answer the question of what is truly worthy of your precious time investment. From there, you can minimize wasted, boring periods and increase quality time, the genuine, golden hours that bring you happiness. Shaping time, what's truly worth your investment? To accurately assess this, the author advises us to practice time tracking. Track where your time goes. However, this tracking isn't simply recording activities. It also involves evaluating the emotions you experience while doing them. Dr. Holmes proposes the following specific method. First, create a schedule. Divide all your waking hours, excluding sleep, into half-hour segments and record what you did in each. Note that the record-keeping must be as specific as possible. It's best to categorize activities. For example, don't just write work, but break it down into sub-activities like writing reports, processing emails, team meetings, etc. Crucially, the tracking period shouldn't be too short. You need to do it consistently for at least 1 to 2 weeks. Only then will you have enough data to comprehensively understand your own issues. Second, record your emotions for each activity and rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 representing very unhappy and 10 representing very happy. But what is the correct understanding of happy to evaluate most objectively? Positive psychologist Martin Seligman points out 5 elements that contribute to a person's happiness: positive emotion, engagement, meaning complete focus, relationships, meaning and a sense of accomplishment. An activity that brings you true joy needs to incorporate these 5 elements. First, consider the level of positive emotion you feel when engaging in the activity. Next, ask yourself, can you fully immerse yourself, and do you feel energized after doing it? The next question is, does this activity help you connect more deeply with others or the world around you? And finally, what meaningful value does it bring? Does it help you build confidence or help others in some way? Activities that score high on these 5 elements are often in the ideal zone and should be prioritized. Conversely, activities that frequently make you feel anxious, depressed, sad, empty, guilty, or disappointed are those that need serious reevaluation. We can also refer to the author's research results combined with the conclusions from Nobel laureate economist Daniel Kahneman, author of Thinking, Fast and Slow, a book I've previously discussed in a video, to evaluate and restructure our own time usage. Generally, a person's time can be divided into 3 groups. The first group is happy time . This is time you spend on activities that are both enjoyable and meaningful. Examples include social activities helping others, heartfelt communication and intimate hugs, meditation, reflection, cultivating body and mind, physical exercise, and so on. The second group is less fulfilling time . These are activities that are meaningful but less enjoyable, e.g., going to work, teaching children, cooking, or activities that are enjoyable but less meaningful, e.g., eating out, watching TV. The third group is wasted time . This is time spent on activities that are neither enjoyable nor meaningful. Examples include commuting to work, running errands, or aimlessly browsing the internet. Of course, these are just relative examples because the level of meaning and joy from activities differs for everyone. They depend on each individual's personal perception and life goals. For example, some people find cooking boring, but others genuinely enjoy it. Therefore, the crucial key is to be truly honest with yourself when evaluating and choosing which activities to prioritize. Time optimization strategies. To truly master a fulfilling day, a day where efficiency and happiness blend together, the author proposes several time strategies. The first is time blocking , meaning respecting scheduled moments as you would respect your own life. This is a fundamental strategy for effective time management. Instead of letting days slip by with regret over unstarted important tasks or exhaustion from work overlapping, we must practice time blocking. Time blocking means that besides fixed, recurring daily times, like eating meals, picking up children, showering, for the remaining time, we must lock in golden time blocks, dedicated to our core values, not allowing other tasks to intrude or be replaced. When you block out time for what you cherish, you are building a fortress for your life's happiness. If you know that mornings are your most alert and creative period, block out that time for important, high-value tasks like writing, brainstorming, in-depth learning, or tackling difficult problems. In the afternoon, when energy levels might be lower, it's more suitable for processing emails, attending meetings, or handling administrative tasks. If your current job isn't your passion, turn dawn into your personal treasure. Go to bed early and wake up an hour earlier than usual. Even if it's just 45 or 60 minutes before your workday begins, when invested correctly, that time slot can become a launchpad for changing your life. Dedicate this precious time block to activities that nurture your abilities, such as learning a new skill, reading, learning a foreign language, cultivating your mind and body through meditation, gentle exercise in nature, or simply enjoying a slow, silent breakfast. All these things will create a powerful shift in your perception, in the quality of your entire day, and simultaneously build invisible momentum for the future. These happiness-nurturing, golden time activities need to be scheduled as seriously as any important, unmissable appointment. The amount of protection and respect you give these moments is precisely the amount of love and reverence you are giving your own life. The next strategy is *** mindful enjoyment of every second ***. Once you've time blocked for activities you love, the next step is to focus entirely on the present moment. One of the biggest barriers preventing us from living fully in the present is our smartphone. Have you ever resolved to do homework, go to bed early to wake up early, or simply dedicate time to yourself, read a book, or plan for tomorrow? But then you just pick up your phone, tell yourself, just a little bit, and ultimately hours have slipped away. The truth is, we don't lack time, but we often lose it unconsciously. The strategy of enjoying time here requires you to make a decisive choice. Either fully immerse yourself in what you're doing, or don't do it. The best way is to keep your phone out of arm's reach. Dedicate specific tech-free periods during the day, for example, the first 30 minutes after waking up and an hour before bed, completely without touching electronic devices. Additionally, you can try practicing the 5-second rule. When your hand unconsciously reaches for your phone, stop, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, does this action help me enjoy the present moment, or is it stealing my time? Just these 5 seconds of awareness are enough to regain control. Another approach is to use an ** interruption journal **. Whenever you feel tempted to switch to another task, pause for a moment and quickly note in your journal, I interrupted myself at 10:15 because reason. Write it down. At the end of the day or week, you can review this journal to understand the sources of your time leakage and then find ways to eliminate or reduce them. Strategy number 3 is * reducing wasted and less fulfilling time **, to free yourself from tasks that feel time-consuming but unavoidable, such as housework or commuting. The author introduces 2 strategies: delegation ** and batching **. For housework, if financially feasible, you might consider the delegation strategy by hiring someone to do it for you. Don't dismiss this as an extravagance. Researchers once surveyed thousands of people in the US, Denmark, and Canada, asking if they would be willing to spend money to hire a cleaner or someone to do their grocery shopping. 2/3 of them said, I've never hired anyone. The issue wasn't a lack of money. The interviewees were all financially capable. This research shows that everyone has different reasons for not hiring help. However, most people don't realize that hiring someone to do time-consuming tasks can significantly increase their overall happiness. In the survey, those willing to pay for help were happier than those who weren't. In reality, you don't need to hire someone to do all your housework. Just having help with a few tasks, like cleaning the entire house once a week or buying a robotic vacuum or dishwasher, can make a difference. Such a financial investment is also an investment in your happy time. That time can then be used for activities that truly bring you joy and meaning. The quality of life will improve significantly as a result. If you can't hire someone, you can use the ** batching / combining ** strategy, pairing tasks you dislike with another enjoyable activity. Carrie M. once conducted research finding that simply pairing disliked tasks with a liked activity makes the discomfort more tolerable. For example, You can clean the house while listening to music or your favorite podcast. However, in my personal opinion, combining two tasks when both require a certain level of focus, e.g., cleaning requires attention to the action and scrubbing corners, while listening to a podcast requires focusing on specific content details, is only a temporary way to cope with internal resistance. In the long run, it should not be used. As I've emphasized in many previous videos, doing two things at the same time will reduce focus on the present moment and prevent mindfulness. Moreover, psychological research has shown that the human brain cannot efficiently handle multitasking when a task requires cognitive effort. Multitasking can reduce the quality of both activities. You might miss details in the podcast because you're focusing on cleaning, and you won't fully experience the fresh, clean feeling of the floor because your mind is busy analyzing information from the podcast. As a content creator, I'm delighted when people use their time to listen to the channel's podcasts. But I will always encourage you to strive for mindfulness in every moment. Personally, to optimize my time on housework, I've chosen a minimalist lifestyle. I declutter, getting rid of unnecessary items or things I haven't used in a long time. I organize and categorize items by function, location of use, and frequency of use. Thanks to this, my living space is tidier, and cleaning becomes easier, giving me more time for truly important things. I find that this book's batching strategy is particularly effective when you commute by public transport. Travel time between home and work can become valuable time to read, practice listening to a foreign language, process emails, or send messages to check on family and friends. However, in Vietnam, most people ride motorcycles, making this almost impossible. If your commute is too long, leaving you constantly exhausted at the end of each day, you might consider the advice of happiness billionaire Naval Ravikant. Find a way to move closer to your workplace or find a job you truly love. Choosing a suitable place to live can bring a radical change to your quality of life and happiness. Especially for young people who haven't bought a house yet, before making a decision, you should carefully consider three factors: living environment, career opportunities, and commuting time. If you can't make an immediate change, then, as previously suggested, practice mindfulness on every journey. Avoid falling into autopilot mode, like a machine repeating habits day after day. This is one of the subtle factors that diminish happiness. Many people, once too familiar with a route, let their minds drift into endless thoughts. This is one of the subtle factors that silently erodes happiness. Therefore, maintain awareness in every moment. That's also a way to create quality time, even in mundane moments. Next up is strategy number 4, transforming perceptions. A broad mind turns misfortune into joy ***. Many people view the workplace as a battlefield. Negative emotions from work don't just stay at the office, they follow us home. Regarding work, if you haven't found an ideal job that meets the 5 elements of happiness, then it's better to change your own perception. Consider this case. In a cancer center, there was a sanitation worker named Candace. Her job was to clean one floor. Due to the side effects of chemotherapy, patients often vomited in their rooms and throughout the restrooms. Most other staff members could only endure this job for about a year, but Candace had done it for over 10 years with a profoundly positive attitude. She told researchers that this job wasn't as bad as people imagined. For her, the place was a home full of hope. She set her own purpose for the work, not just to keep the environment clean, but also to help patients feel happier and more comfortable. So, in addition to cleaning, she enthusiastically helped patients, brought tissues and water when needed, told jokes, inquired about and comforted patients and their families, and assisted doctors and nurses with whatever she could. When Candace was happy in her work, her overall life satisfaction also increased. In this world, every job has its own difficulties and challenges, and can always bring unhappiness. But if you can perceive its deeper meaning and value from a different perspective, just as Candace reframed her own work, you can perform your job efficiently and gain invaluable intrinsic value. And finally, strategy number 5, leaving white space ***. Just as artists often leave blank spaces on a canvas, when planning your weekly schedule, you shouldn't pack it too tightly. You can set aside an hour or half an hour for complete silence, or give yourself a short period to sit down, stop all activities entirely, and use it solely for deep thinking, reflecting on your life and your decisions. This can lead to much greater expansion and creativity. Besides, you can still reserve some space for entertainment. A small activity that brings joy from entertainment, like a game, listening to music, or doing anything you feel like at that moment. These activities, as long as they don't turn into endless hours of indulgence, can increase anticipation and elevate your happiness. This is how you create a buffer zone that helps a stressful rhythm of life return to balance. So, we've learned how to shape our time usage, explored strategies for adjustment and allocation, and finally, we arrive at the conclusion to ascend higher and view time from a bird's eye perspective. Seneca once said, "Life is long enough if you know how to use it right." Like birds flying in the sky, capable of seeing the entire landscape below, we too should face the days of our lives with a holistic view. According to research, people who view life in terms of decades rather than hours and days tend to live happier lives. This perspective helps you avoid being imprisoned by the past and expectations, seeing yourself instead as a piece in the larger tapestry of a lifetime. It opens up a higher capacity for self-compassion. You don't have to be right from the start, nor do you have to shoulder everything right now. Because choosing the wrong major, the wrong career, or temporarily postponing a passion for something else is not getting lost. A long, expansive life still holds countless opportunities for you to add to start over. Or, when you hear that there are too many useful things that need to be done, you don't have to rush to do them all at once. By tracking your activities and evaluating your emotions, you can prioritize what is important and meaningful first. It will remind you that life is a book, and each chapter has its own content. Decisively cut off distractions and procrastination, focusing wholeheartedly on a specific period in the present. Allocating happy time will help you shift from, "Should I do this?" to, "When will I do it?" and then immediately getting started. This book once again reinforces our understanding that the happiness of our lives depends entirely on how we use our time, manage our work, and choose what is essential. The time you use today is the frequency you emit, and the universe will respond with a worthy resonance throughout the rest of your life.